hello.
Good evening, Vante.
How is everyone? Welcome, welcome.
Okay,
Can
so
start.
welcome everybody. Very happy to see you all. I will now share the screen and we will start today's content. We are going to the very end of chapter 9. Congratulations, everybody.
Cool.
Okay, let's see. So today we are going to continue with the last details on chapter 9 about enlightenment and also about the noble beings, which actually most of this information you have heard it already in previous chapters. Is a little bit repetition plus a little bit information, a little bit more information. So I think it will be easy to understand today. So maybe we can start with paying respect. Bante, would you please guide us?
Yes. Okay. Everybody ready? Let's pay homage to the sublime, to the victorious one, to the total self-enlightened one, the Buddha. We remember all our teachers, especially our parents, our first teachers, and all the line 2,500 years back to him. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. May all our teachers continue healthy, live long, and continue serving humanity in the way they do. May the teaching last for very long.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so if everybody is ready, we'll start with today's content. Everybody okay? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, let's start then. So last week, we have finished with the 7 stages of purification and the 16 kinds of wisdom, jnanas. So we see in this graphic of how which knowledge correspond to which type of purification. So we have all go through all this, and we have gone through the enlightenment process, Gotrabu and Magga and Phala. So now today we will finish with the last Paccekikkhana, which we have already seen in the chapter 4, but that is just a little bit of revision. So this Paccekikkhana is the reviewing process. So after Magga Viti, after the enlightenment process, Magga, then what happens is that immediately some reviewing process happened. So after the Parikamma, Upachara, Anuloma, Gotrabu, Magga, Phala, then Bhavanga arises after the enlightenment process. After Magga and Phala arise, Magga only one time, then Phala twice, then Bhavanga arise. Then after that, what happens immediately after that? There could be more or less Bhavanga here. Then what happens after that is that some sense fear, mind or mental process happens immediately after the enlightenment process. So here, Manodawara Vajana, mind or averting chitta, then Javana here, it starts with the reviewing process. So this reviewing process, the first one reviews what? It reviews the Magga that had just happened, that Magga chitta. That's the first reviewing process. Then the second reviewing process reviews the Phala that has just happened. And the third reviewing process reviewed Nibbana, which is the object of the Magga and Phala. No, it reviews this. So these 3 reviewing process surely must happen after the enlightenment process. So sometimes people say that I think maybe I got enlightened. So if someone said, I think, so if he's not sure, then probably he might not be. Because after the enlightened process, surely the reviewing process happens. So one should be sure that the Magga arose, the Phala arose, and then the Nibbana also. Then he has reviewed it. Yes? Yes, Bante?
And as we saw before, mostly what is reviewed besides what is gained, it's also review what is lost. We will go to that in further in the class. So the practitioner recognizes that some sources of negativity are absent. I would say that maybe in our experience, that will be also very shocking to realize that some negativity just left the mind. It's impossible for the mind to continue being polluted by them.
Yes.
At that point time of reviewing the practitioner, now the Ariya one, the noble one, knows clearly what was left. So it's sure that something happened.
Yes. So the next reviewing process that what Bante was just talking about is the reviewing process of what kind of defilement has been eradicated by that Magga. So in this case, it is a Sotapatti Magga, so the first stage of enlightenment, so wrong view and doubt has been totally uprooted, eliminated. So here, the person who got enlightened, the Ariya, here, Sotapanna, he reviews what kind of what kind of defilements has been eradicated in this process, no? Then after that, he also review what kind of defilements are still present and needs to be eradicated from now on, no? So for Sotapanna, later today, we will also talk about a little bit more. The Lobha Dosa Moha are reduced a lot significantly, but still they are there. So, but they are not uprooted. No, so in this case, he still have work to do. He still have to continue the practice. No, now here for an Arahant, this last reviewing process will not happen, because in the fourth process, when he reviews what kind of defilements have been eradicated, all would have been gone. So for an Arahant, there is nothing, no more defilements left. So he don't need to review what is left over, because all is gone. No? And now also, as we can see, the 5 reviewing process, this Magga, Phala, and Nibbana, it is said in the text that surely it must happen, this 3 reviewing process. But this 4th and 5th, sometimes the person might review it and sometimes he might not review it. So if the person, let's say the Ariya, the noble person, that he got enlightened and these 3 must happen, then after that he did not review what defilements are being eradicated, and he did not review what defilements are left, then he himself might not know or might not be so sure about it. But these 3, it is said in the text that surely happens, and usually these 2 also, but not all the time. Okay, so these are the reviewing process. And this reviewing process, although it happens in sense sphere, mind or mental process, they are also a type of wisdom. They are also considered as wisdom. So here it comes in the last one. But of course, from here on, from Magga and Phala, it is actually not Vipassana anymore, because that is the enlightenment process. No, so until here is what one has to practice and practice Vipassana. Until here. Is still the Vipassana object, mind and matter. Then from Gotrabhu on, the object will be Nibbana, no? And Paccekakkhana, the objects would be the 5 things that we just saw right now. The Magga, the Phala, the Nibbana, the defilements being eradicated, and the defilements left. No?
Wow, tasty. Sounds like a plan, So
until here, everybody okay? Yes.
Okay, looking good, everyone.
Yeah. Okay. So
we already got enlightened, so we can rest now. Good. Okay, so until here we have completed all the stages of purification, and also the jnanas, different kind of jnanas. So what we are going to look at now are the emancipations. So there are 3 types of contemplation in the Vipassana meditation. Now, as we know, the anicca, dukkha, and anatta is the important theme that one has to be continuously practicing. Whatever object the mind takes, one have to contemplate it as anicca, dukkha, and anatta. No? So for Vipassana practice, it is said that there are 3 kinds of Anupasana contemplation, 3 types. So the first type is called contemplation of impermanence, anicca-nupassana. So it's the once again, time and again, the contemplation on anicca, no? So the repeated contemplation on impermanence. Yeah, the word Anupasana, pasana comes from pasati, which is to see. Anu means repeatedly, means contemplating over and over again. We need to see, we need to check for, for anicca, dukkha, and anatta. So the Buddha, just by utilizing this word, is giving instructions for practice over and over and again, repeatedly seeing something.
Yes, so as Bhante said repeatedly, seeing anicca, dukkha, and anatta. No? So the second contemplation is called contemplation of suffering or unsatisfactoriness. No? So dukkha nupassana. And we have another one, which is the contemplation of non-self, anatta nupassana. No? So these three are the contemplations of vipassana. And these three are actually also called the three doors to emancipation, because it is by way of one of these three contemplation that one gains enlightenment, no? That one's become free. So that's why they are called the door to nibbana, actually the door to emancipation or to liberation. So here, yes, Bhante.
Yes, the masters, just to emphasize on this point, they call that actually the enlightenment is, as I have said before, it's a room with three doors. It doesn't matter which door we enter already into enlightenment. Our tendency of mind can be easier to contemplate anicca, then we follow that path and enter through that door, or through dukkha, depending on our tendency and interest, or anatta, different characteristics. Anatta will require a little bit more of wisdom, perhaps, because it's a little bit more difficult to be seen that there is non-self. Anicca is a little bit easier to contemplate in our day-to-day experience. But we can enter through any of these doors, and the other doors are open as we come in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you very much, Bhante. This makes a very good introduction to what we are going to look at now. Because in the Visuddhimagga, you can also find that according to the tendency, just like Bhante said right now, a person who is more sada prominent, so he has sada or faith and confidence as a dominant mental factor. In that case, that person is said to be more tend to contemplate on anicca. And the person who is more concentration dominant, like his mental faculty is more samadhi type, then is more tendency to contemplate on dukkha. And then if a person is more wisdom oriented, then it's more more tendency to contemplate anatta. Yes, Bhante.
Okay, ting, 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 ting. So question, which of these three do you think you are? Take a few seconds to think. Are you a faith and confident person? Are we or any of us a samadhi concentration per type of person or a wisdom kind of person? What do you think? What do you think? So who think is from the first group, sada type? Or you need more time? Sorry, you need more time to think. Sada type, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the group. Samadhi type, what do you think? Who think is on this group? No, Don Edward. So, my dear, contemplate the suffering. The Sada type, we check anicca. And Panya type, who think there is? Oh, 1, very good, 2, good. Okay, so contemplate anatta. We can do or try, I will say try the 3, try the 3, and anything that hits, it will be valid, any door we come in. But yes, we will have some kind of tendency. Good to know, good to focus and start with our tendency first and then experiment on the 3 of them, I will say. That will be very healthy.
Yes. And further in this in today's session, we will talk a little bit more about this. Now let's take a look at first at the 3 doors to emancipation one by one, or each of them, in a little bit more details. No? Okay, so we have the door of anicca, the door of dukkha, and the door of anatta. No, so let's see what happens. Now, if a person he contemplates on anatta, what happens is that he discards the clinging to a self, because he does not see that there is anything that has a core, that has a soul, or that has an atta, that has a permanent entity. No? So in that case, this contemplation that dispel the clinging towards the self is also called the contemplation of the void or emptiness. So sunyata nupassana. So because there is no what, empty of what, empty of a self, no, empty of an atta, empty of a permanent entity, no. So in this case, anatta nupassana is a synonym to sunyata nupassana. So sometimes when you hear this word sunyata nupassana, then we understand is the contemplation on anatta. Yes, Bhante?
Yeah, empty, yes. Empty of what? Empty of atta. That is what the emptiness theory and teaching refers about. emptiness of a self or a guiding process that does not change or move from place to place. Everything is arising and passing away immediately, physically and mentally. So empty of that notion, of that wrong view of having an I, a me, or something that belongs to the I. Atta and attaniya.
Yes. So in this contemplation, the person, he does not see nama and rupa as any kind of permanent entity. No, so he understands there is void or empty of a self. So here, and the thing that we wanted to know is that sunyata Anupassanā and anatta Anupassanā are synonym. No, so when we see this sunyata, then we understand this the contemplation of non-self. Okay, so when we see the other door, the contemplation of impermanence, anicca-nupasana, what happened is that when a person contemplates on impermanence, then he discards the sign of perversion. So because what is called a perversion means that we see things in a wrong way, you know. So the perception is wrong. So we see dukkha as sukha, we see subha as subha, we see what is not beautiful as beautiful, we see what is unsatisfactory as satisfactory or happiness, then we see what is not permanent as nicca, we see what is not a self to be a self as atta. No? So in this case, the contemplation of anicca, by this contemplation, one understands that there is actually nothing like permanent in this world. Nothing is permanent. So he discards this perversion of view towards these types of ideas, no, of like being satisfactory, being beautiful, being permanent, and being oneself. Yes, Ate?
Yes, there is a very beautiful saying of the Buddha, which I will read in Pali first and then see that the translation, very beautiful, very useful also for our practice. And the Buddha says, Penna pindupamam rupang, vedana bubula kupama, marichi kupama sanya, sankara kadalupama, vinyanang mayupamang. And that means like a lump of foam, like a piece of foam, the body is. Just like bubbles are the sensations, changing all the time, bubble, 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 bubble. Perception is just like a mirage. The mental formations are like a banana stem, like a banana trunk. That you take one layer, like an onion, you take another one, and finally there is nothing there. In the banana stem, there is nothing, only layers and layers and layers, making the illusion that there is something steady and strong. And consciousness is an illusion. You can find this on the Samyutta Nikaya, book number 216. Very beautiful. And applying it to our practice, if we think of our body as just a lump of foam, just arising and passing away, disappearing, all these little bubbles, then we go to our sensations. Sanya is talking about the five khandhas, no, the five aggregates. The sanya, our sensations, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, just like bubbles, pop, 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 coming and passing away. Perception, sanya, in this case, what Charana was just mentioning right now, it's just like a mirage, like a fantasy, like an illusion of nature, or that happens in our mind. Mental formation, the banana stem, and consciousness itself, chitta itself, an illusion. Very strong words for the Buddha to use, very useful for practice. I will try to put it now on the chat if somebody's interested of the Pali. Very good verses to keep in mind, memorize them in Pali, memorize the meaning, and practice onto them.
Yes, thank you, Bhante. So we come back to the contemplation of anicca. So in this case, by contemplating, by understanding that there is nothing that is permanent, then we discard this sign of perversion. No? So therefore, here, this contemplation of impermanence, anicca, is also called the contemplation of signless. So animitta Anupassanā. Nimitta is like a sign, no? Animitta Anupassanā. So this contemplation of signless, this sign means there is no sign, not any sign of anything that is permanent, no sign of defilements, no sign of satisfactoriness, no sign of permanence, no sign of beauty, and no sign of anatta. So these signs are created actually by defilements, no? Because the mind is not totally free from defilements, so we see things wrongly. So therefore, there are no more signs of these things because of the contemplation of anicca. So therefore, this contemplation is also called animitta Anupassanā. So when you see this word, the nimitta Anupassanā, then you will see, you will know that it means the practice of anicca, no, actually. So here, why are we talking about these words? It's because in the suttas, many times it comes out. Actually, last 2 Sundays ago on the Sunday session, morning session, there was a person who was reading a sutta. And so she was seeing the nibbana, or like the liberation of the signless, or the liberation of the void, of the emptiness. And then she was saying, what does that mean? What does that mean, the liberation of signless? No. So actually, this is in the Pali word is the animitta. Animitta, then we understand it means there is no sign of any defilements that create this kind of perversion, no, of wrong understanding. So meaning the contemplation of anicca through liberation through the contemplation of anicca. So this is actually interesting words that you will find in the suttas, where without this understanding, it would be like, what are you talking about? Like, what does it mean by, especially when we are looking at translation, signless, void, or these things. So we do need the information from the Abhidhamma to understand this.
Yeah, and many misunderstandings can arise from it, because what sign? Empty of what? Then troubles arise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the last door. The last door being the door of the contemplation of suffering, dukkha Anupassanā. So what happened here is that when a person contemplates on the unsatisfactoriness during his vipassana, what he discards is the desire through craving. Because when we see dukkha, that everything is unsatisfactory, then the mind understands that it is no use to cling onto it. No, so this craving is being discarded, and so here this Anupassanā is also called contemplation of the desireless, apanihita Anupassanā. So because there is no more desire there, that desire is being discarded, so the contemplation of the desireless. So when you see this word apanihita, that means the contemplation of dukkha that brings one to liberation. No? Okay. Until here that we have met 3 words. Later we will see them again. But now what I want to introduce you is that about the 3 doors. Bhante also mentioned a little while ago that we can practice all 3 of them, right? So here actually, when we are practicing vipassana, we do go through these contemplations. When sometimes the mind is more tend to understand, oh, anicca, this is anicca, or sometimes it's more tend to understand dukkha, sometimes it's more tend to understand anatta. So we actually practice all 3 of them. And until here, until the highest, almost the highest knowledge of vipassana, so until the knowledge of reflective contemplation. So here, remember, it is like the person, he again reflect after he passed through all the understanding of all this is like seeing the dissolution of the thing, then seeing the fearfulness or the non-attractiveness to of all formation, no, of all conditioned things. Then he sees that it is really miserable, dukkha, and then he feels like he's tired of it and he wants to be free from it. Then again, because he wants to be free from it, then he understands I have to practice again. So then he looks at all these conditioned things and see them again, how they are anicca, dukkha, and anatta. No? So until here, he does practice all 3. But then when he comes to the understanding of that all formations are just arises and passes away, and then he are totally equanimous towards it. He doesn't like it or he doesn't hate it. No, so no liking and no disliking. At this point, one practices either one of these because he is now he's entering to the liberation. No, he's entering. So he enters through one door. So he does not enter through 3 doors at the same time. So either here he either contemplate anicca, or he either contemplate on dukkha, or he either contemplate on anatta, which is the way that leads him to the final, to magga and phala. No, that's the door he enters from. But previously he has already contemplated on the 3 of them. No, yes, Bhante has something to say.
Yeah, so it is like if you arrive to this wonderful room and you start looking at the 3 doors, which one should I come in, which one, anicca, dukkha, anatta. Okay, anyway, we can cross only through 1 door. We cannot divide or copy our body 3 times and pass through 3 of them. So we choose, then later on, it will be one that will be the way for entering this marvelous room of inner.
And most probably, I think the process, it might go a little bit naturally, kind of naturally. So as far as one has been contemplating here, so naturally the tendency of the mind will have more understanding towards anicca, let's say, or dukkha or anatta. So in that way, naturally, the mind keeps contemplating on that line, and then it enters from that door. No, so until here, it is only either one of these. So that's why this is called the 3 emancipation. No, so these 3 emancipation, meaning actually the emancipation is the same as liberation. No, so if one contemplated the sign anicca in this case, I mean one enter from the anicca door, let's say, then that emancipation or that liberation has a name. It's called the animitta vimokkha, the signless emancipation. Animitta vimokkha. Vimokkha means emancipation. No, so here it is called animitta because there is no sign of anything that is permanent, no sign of any sukha, subha, nicca, and atta. No, so here if you enter from this door, animitta vimokkha, and if one enters from the door of contemplation of dukkha, that vimokkha, that emancipation is called apanihita vimokkha, desireless emancipation, by the reason that we just saw right now. No, because there is when one sees suffering, then there is no more craving or desire towards the formation, because we understand that it is dukkha. No, then if one enters from the door of anatta, then that liberation is called sunyata vimokkha, the void or the emptiness emancipation. So in this case, the liberation or the emancipation also gets its name according to which door the person, or which practice, which contemplation is being done by the practitioner. No? Okay, so this is only really just for your information, because these names it comes out from the suttas or from the from many texts or different articles that you might read, so you understand what it is talking about. Otherwise, so I think in practice, the process just happens so naturally. It doesn't really matter where it enters or what is it called, as long as one is liberated from the defilements, and that's enough. No? That's perfect. No, we'll call it whatever you want. No, but anyway, so they have a name according to the text. Okay, so in the same way, yes, Bhante?
Don't worry how it is called, just give it to me.
Yes, it doesn't really matter what it is called, but when we read, so it will be helpful, this information. So I will just continue to introduce a little bit more of the name, okay? Please, just a little bit more. Okay, so in the same way, yeah, yes, Bhante?
No, yeah, I was just completing. Bear with me. We continue.
Yes, yes, a little bit more with the names. Okay, so in the same way, the magga and the phala also gets the name because sometimes you may see the animitta magga, animitta phala, apanihita magga, apanihita phala, sunyata magga, sunyata phala. No, so it seems that there are many kinds of magga, many kinds of phala. So what is all that about? So actually, this magga and phala also get this different kind of name depending on the vipassana that is practiced immediately before they arise. No, so if the person he practiced anicca Anupassanā, in that case, and then because of that practice, then he get magga. So the magga that he got is called animitta magga, animitta phala, because he practiced it anicca, and he entered from the door of anicca, let's say. So in the same way, dukkha and atta also in the same way. No. Now here it is a little bit interesting because we know that magga only arise one time. No, there are 4 maggas, 4 stages of enlightenment: Sotapatti magga, Sakadagami magga, Anagami magga, and Arahata magga. No, the 4 stages of enlightenment, 4 maggas. They only arise once, and they are so powerful. Only one time of arising and passing away, and it eradicates totally whatever it needs to be eradicated. And like the oil lamp we saw last time, it burns the oil, it burns the wick, and it gives lights and it dispels darkness. No, so the function of magga we saw last time. No, 4 things it does in the same time. Understand totally the 4 noble truths. No, at the same time. Okay, so in this way, so they get a different name. Magga always get the name according to, not always, sorry, there are also other ways, but here it gets the name according to the vipassana that has been practiced previously. But for phala, it does not only arise once. After magga, phala arises twice. And then later on, if a person after enlightenment, then he wants to experience nibbana again, then he can get into phala samapatti, no? The sustained attainment of phala thought process, no? Remember?
Remember this? We saw before the phala samapatti, when the person touch nibbana and then he just kind of touches the object and can rejoice on that happiness of asankata, non-created, non-conditioned mental mode of being. That person can touch nibbana after he already know where it is. He can go and grab it again and experience it. And the teacher says that it's a kind of rest that has nothing to do with sleeping. Just a few seconds on phala samapatti will rest the mind and body in ways that one cannot even imagine.
Yes.
Okay. So the Arahants and the Buddha himself used to have this practice. The Buddha was asked, why, how come you teach the whole day and you don't get tired? When, as we mentioned before, when the people say sadhu, 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 the Buddha used to go to phala samapatti and was fresh, like again, to teach more people, give another Dhamma talk after he just finished one.
Okay, so here, what I wanted to say is that phala, it can arise more time, no? So magga only one time, but then phala, it can arise more time. So if we just remember a little bit how phala samapatti process happens, before a person gets into phala samapatti, although he already got enlightened, he wants to get into the phala samapatti to experience nibbana again, what he needs to do is he has to practice vipassana again. So he again takes nama and rupa as object and he practices vipassana, and then he sees it as anicca, dukkha, or anatta. And so here he can take whichever door again. So let's say the person, he got enlightened contemplating impermanence, anicca. So he entered, the first time he became enlightened, he entered through the door of impermanence. But now later when he practiced vipassana again, he concentrated and he practiced anatta, of non-self. So because of this practice, then later phala samapatti happens. So manodavara vajana happens. Then here it happens again, the phala. So in this case, this phala, instead of impermanence, instead of practicing, the previous practice, instead of impermanence, now is anatta, no? Not anicca, no? So in this case, this phala gets the name according to the practice previously done. So in this case, phala can be called different names, depending on the taking nibbana object, depending on the this anicca, dukkha, and anatta, which door he enters from. No, okay. So that is the name that it is given to the magga and phala, depending on the vipassana practice immediately before it arises. No, okay. So now. Magga and phala can also get this name by because of its object. Now, nibbana, magga and phala takes nibbana as object, not always. So nibbana itself is actually sunyata. Nibbana itself is void or empty of a self, and nibbana is animitta, is signless. It has no sign of defilements at all. Defilements does not exist in nibbana, no? And then it is apanihita also, because nibbana itself is desireless. It is not the object of desire. So the desire or lobha cannot take nirvana as object. No, so because of nirvana, because of this object, magga and phala can also be called to the name of void, signless, and desireless because of the object. So now it can also be called these three names because of its respective quality. Because magga and phala, magga itself is also sunyata. Magga itself is also without defilement. Magga itself is also not object of desire. So by its own quality, it can also be called this different name. So in short, in the summary, they get this name animita or apanihita or sunyata, either because of the doa by which one get enlightened, or either by the vipassana which is being done immediately before its arising, or either because of the object, which is nibbana, or either because of its respective quality. So by these four ways, the magga and phala gets this different name. But here, what is really important is we just have to understand that when we see this signless, desireless, or void or emptiness, we understand that it is only a name according to the contemplation which is being done.
According to the door that the individual came in.
Yes. Now, another important thing is that magga itself, the quality of magga or phala, it does not vary at all, even it is signless or desireless or void. So magga is the same magga and it does the same function, even that one enters from anicca or dukkha or anatta, no, whichever door. So although it has a different name, but they are not different in terms of their quality or in terms of their function. No? Is that okay?
Everybody okay?
Yeah, it sounds a little bit complicated, but as I said a little bit earlier, it doesn't matter what it's called. This is just for your information. Then when you read some suttas later on, or when you read something, this name sometimes happens. Because for a person, remember the suttas, the Buddha talked to many different kinds of person. No? So for somebody, some people, maybe he is a more sada type person, then something about anicca is more appealing to his mind. So when the Buddha talks about animita or about impermanence, right? So animita, about that, sorry, was it, yes, animita. So there is no sign of permanency, then he understands more, no? So maybe because of that, in the suttas, then these words comes out, no? Or sometimes then in one sutta, all these three can come out because the Buddha is explaining different ways of how one get enlightened, no? So all these words might come out. So when you see these words, then you understand, so this is the only purpose of knowing their names, no? Because when it happens, it really just cut off all the defilements, doesn't matter what it is called. Okay, Bante, is that okay? Anything you want to add?
Very good, very good. Everything okay, looking good.
All right, okay, so until here, we have finished all the content of Vipassana. And then the next topic, yes. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So the next topic that comes in this chapter is about the individuals, about the noble beings. So these are also informations that we have previously heard about, and we have just a little bit more information here. So we will just go through.
Yeah.
As we know,
Karana, I think are we taking a little break or not? How is everybody's energy?
I thought it's quite early, but
yes. Yeah, because sorry, I thought it was yeah, we started at 30. Yes. So this next part is our future selves. Let's rejoice on the ones we are about to be. So this is it.
That would be very nice.
That would be nice. Pure minder guys and girls. Yes, that's good. Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so the 4 stages of enlightenment we have seen. So the person, the individual who gets the different stage of enlightenment are called Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahata. No? So the person who has reached the 4 stages of enlightenment. So let's see one by one. Now, for a Sotapanna, yes.
Sorry, Charana. Before we go, just a little contemplation. Let's pause a little bit. Do we recognize what this means? Can we foresee the beauty on this kind of minds, on this kind of beings, the kind of purity that there is, the stability and understanding of nature? Can we imagine it ourselves having that, walking that way, and eventually reach to that balance, reach to that understanding and that purity? I think it's worth starting bringing it on here. What could that mean here? We are not yet there, but we know what needs to be done. Can we imagine our mind being with such stability and such beauty, nobility? Let's keep that on. It is possible. There are enlightened beings right now in the world, and there have been many in the past. Hopefully, it continues to be more and more into the future. Let's pause just a little bit. What can I do? What is the next step? Even small. The teaching is alive, and it is possible. May we all and all beings feel inspired to free ourselves. May our parents be well, brothers and sisters, children, friends, and all beings. Thank you for the collective effort. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Bante. And so let's go into seeing the more information on each of these individuals and be inspired, no? Like Bante said, to see how they are and what does it mean. Okay, so for the first stage, a person who has reached the first stage of enlightenment is called a Sotapanna. So Sota here means a stream, here meaning the noble path, not the noble eightfold path. And Apana means one who reaches for the first time. So that means a person who reached for the first time the stream or entering the noble path. No? So that's called a stream enterer. Stream enterer. So
can't go back anymore.
Yes, once a person enters the stream, then he is bound to arrive to the ocean. No, so there is no going back. So when a person reaches the first stage of enlightenment, he is surely to get full enlightenment in due course. No, so yes, Bante.
Yeah, a teacher said that this could be the minimum we are aspiring for, because something also very beautiful and important happened with when touching Nibbana for the first time, is that we close the lower realm doors. The 4 lower realms, they are closed forever. We cannot reborn as an animal. We cannot reborn as a Peta or a Sura or anything. The minimum from now on, that individual will born as a human being with the possibilities to get enlightened, maximum 7 more lives. So that is like a real insurance, real samsaric insurance, that you close the lower realms and go forward. The teacher says that this should be the minimum we are looking for. We have all the opportunity in this life. We are still young and have energy and know what is necessary to be done. Let's just try. And if in case it doesn't happen, for sure we will be closer to it, at least a little.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Bante. So here, a Sotapanna, what he or she has eradicated, as we have seen already, is wrong view and doubt. No, this we have already talked about. So here we have a little bit more information according to the chapter 7, Samyojana. Remember, we talked about Samyojana, the fetter or the rope, no, the thing that binds us in samsara, no. So this one, this Samyojana, there are 10 kinds of Samyojana, and there are slight difference between Abhidhamma and Sutta method. So now let's just take a look. So we have Kamaraga, sensual desire, Bhavaraga, the desire for higher existence, no? Then patiga, the ill will, mana, pride or comparison, ditthi, wrong view, yeah, conceit, then isa, machariya, envy, and avarice.
Yeah.
And then we have sirapata paramasa, the wrong understanding of the practice, the vichikicha, doubt, and avijja, no? And ignorance. So for Sotapanna, ditthi and vichikicha and sirapata paramasa are being eradicated totally. And isa and machariya is also said that is also totally eradicated in the first path, no? In the first stage of enlightenment. So here, why isa and machariya, although they are different cetasikas, but they are dosa group, no? So dosa is not yet totally eradicated. So most of the time we didn't mention, but it is said in the Atta Salini, which is the one of the commentaries, that isa and machariya are also being eradicated in the first stage of enlightenment. So here we see that sirapata paramasa and ditthi, they are, both of them are ditthi, both of them are wrong view, because one are wrong understanding of the practice, the other one is wrong understanding of a self, or wrong understanding of this idea of how do you call that, like annihilism or eternalism and all these things, no? So these both are actually wrong view. So wrong view include ditthi and sirapata paramasa in terms of samyojana, no? In terms of the fetters, and doubt, vichikicha, also totally eradicated. And now for this person, since doubt is totally eradicated, his faith or sada is said to be unshakable. So whatever a person might say, yes. Sorry, Bhante?
Yes, sada is established.
Yes, this sada is really established and it is unshakable. So whatever a person might say to this person, then he has no doubt anymore about the path, because he has seen it with his own experience, no? He has walked away, he has walked the Noble Eightfold Path, he has experienced Nibbana by himself. So whatever another person said about the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, he has no doubt about it, because he's seen it by his own eyes, no? So his faith is really unshakable. Now, here, for sense desire, kamaraga and patiga, they are very much diminished, decreased, and isa and machariya, which is family of dosa, is totally eradicated in this case. But here, sense desire and ill will are still present, although they are much, much, much weaker than how it used to be, but they are still there. So
if isa and machariya are eradicated, that means that kind of being, the only thing that can spring out of him or her will be generosity. He has no more stinginess anymore. He has no interest to keep something for the self that he or she already saw does not exist. So who do you keep things for if it is only a natural process arising and passing away? So then generosity naturally flows, and many beautiful qualities. The more darkness we eradicate, the more light will be taking its place.
Yes, so as Bhante said that there are many good things that happens at this time. For Sotapanna, it is said that he will not be able to break any of the five precepts anymore. So when a person reaches the first stage of enlightenment, he is not capable of harming any beings, of killing any beings. Then he is not capable of taking what is not being given, and he is not capable of having any sexual misconduct or any harsh words or any wrong speech, and he is also not capable of intoxicating himself. So for a person who has reached this stage, then because he keeps so good his sila, that basically he is incapable of doing anything that can bring him down. No, therefore, Sotapanna is said to be never reborn into the four woeful state. Like Bhante said, the door is being closed because he is not able to do anything that can cause him to be reborn there.
To go down. It's not just magic or the state that he arrived. It is his own actions. He cannot perform the things that will open those lower doors. So that is closed. My dear family, really, let's apply ourselves if we can and wish to at least try that one. Touch Nibbana for the first time, close the doors, lower realms. We are safe from deeper suffering, greater than human suffering. And then the only thing is just to continue developing. Sooner or later, the full enlightenment will arise.
Yes. So
nice
here,
thing to aspire.
yeah, this is really, really an important point, because it is to understand that Sotapanna, he will not go to the four-woeful state not because of any magical or any mysterious or reason, but because he is not able to do anything bad that can bring him there. That is important. Because sometimes we may hear that people say, oh, now I have reached this Sotapanna level already, or this level already, so I'm safe now. So now I can do whatever I like. I can kill. I can steal. I can do anything, and I will never be there because the door is closed. But no, not because of that. Not because of that. Not because it's only because he is not capable of doing anything bad.
Cause and effect. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. Nature at work.
Okay, so the door to the lower state is being closed, and here in the text, and three types of Sotapannas are being explained. So the most usual type that we know is called the Satta Katu Parama. Satta Katu Parama. These type of Sotapanna are the Sotapannas that can live a maximum of 7 lifetimes. No? So that means a person, he became a Sotapanna, and then he will be reborn as a human or as a Deva for maximum 7 lifetimes. As a human or as a Deva, as a human, as a Deva, and then in his 7th lifetime, then he will surely attain Arahata to become fully enlightened in that lifetime. No, so this is the first type of Sotapanna that we know most of the time. We know, no. Then there is another type of Sotapanna that is called Kolang Kola. This Kolang Kola means a person, this Sotapanna, he became a Sotapanna, and he will live mostly 2 to 6 lives. So he might get enlightened in the next life, in the second life, no, or in the 3rd life, or in the 4th life, or in the 5th life. He doesn't have to live all the 7th life, no. And Kolang actually means a family. So Kolang Kola means going from family to family, family to family, like that. But that means actually it wants to say it goes from being reborn as a human or a celestial being, and wherever he will be born, he will always be reborn in a good family. He will never be reborn into a poor family or with difficult situation or anything like that. So in this case, this type of Sotapanna who might live from 2 lives to 6 lives are another type of Sotapanna, which is called Kolang Kola.
Yes, his mental quality is very high, it's very stable, it's very pure. So naturally, the good seeds, the kusala seeds will give just fruit. That person cannot fall low anymore.
Okay, so the last type of Sotapanna is very nice. It's called Ekabiji. Ekabiji literally means 1 seed. So for this type of Sotapanna, he has only 1 more life to go. So such individual, he might be reborn just once more as a Deva or as a human, and from there, surely he will become an Arahant.
Oh, nice.
So those are the 3 types of Sotapanna, which is being explained. Of course, there are also Sotapannas that become Sotapanna in this lifetime, then in the same lifetime he practices again, then he become Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahant in the same lifetime also, no? So of course he doesn't even have to be reborn in the next lifetime, no? That's also possible. Yes, Bante.
It can even happen in the same sitting meditation or in the same moment of understanding. If the wisdom was strong enough, kung Sotapanna, and the next, and the next, and the next, pung, Arahata. The 4 stages of enlightenment can happen depending on the power of the wisdom, the understanding that individual received at that time or got to see, boom, full enlightenment in one single moment. I mean, one by one, we know you cannot jump, but it will be in the same lapse.
Yes, what Bante say that I think is not one single moment, because not the same moment, but I mean he means like in, let's say, same meditation practice, let's say same sitting or one after the other, like that, no? Okay, so let's go to the second stage of enlightenment. The second stage of enlightenment here is called the Sakadagami. Sakadagami, Saka means once. Agami means the one who comes back. So once returner. The second stage of enlightenment, the person who gets this to this stage is called a once returner. Now returned and come back to what? Now we have to understand that it means return means coming back to the sense sphere or to the plane where the person attained the second stage of enlightenment. So here there are two opinions. Some opinion says that it is the coming back to sense sphere for one more time, and some say that it is come back to a human realm if he get enlightened in the human world, or come back to the Deva world if he gets enlightened in the Deva world as Sakadagami. No, so let's take a look. So there is
anyway, no problem.
Huh?
If it is only once, anywhere is fine. Anyway, it's gonna be human or Deva. That's fine.
Well, the thing is that it is not only once. Now let's take a look sometimes according to the different explanation. No, so now the once returner here, the first according to one opinion, it means that if that person becomes a Sakadagami as a human being, then after this human life he passed away, then he was reborn as a Deva. Then after he leaves the Deva's life, then he passed away as a Deva. And then he reborn as a human again. And then in this human life, he got enlightened. So that's one opinion. No? And then another opinion is that whatever it may be, the person could be Deva or human. Then after he passed away, then he will be reborn into the Deva realm just only one more time. Then he will get enlightened there. So this is, as Bhante said, this is only one time, no? Just only one time, return only one time, no? So in that case, those Sakadagami is called once returner. Now we will first see what kind of defilements they have eradicated. Then we will see how many types of Sakadagami are there. No, okay. So for once returner, actually, there are no specific defilements that are being totally eradicated, but the sense desire and ill will, patiga, and kamaraga are very, very much diminished. It becomes very, very weak in this case. So he further is like cutting a trunk, a very or a tree, very big tree. So he cut the tree that haven't fall down yet, but it is getting very, very close and getting very weak now. So it's doing the work. Okay. So for Sakadagami, according to the commentaries, this actually comes from the commentary to the Pugala Panyati, one of the 7 books of the Abhidhamma. There are 5 kinds of once returner. The first one is that a person, he got enlightened as a Sakadagami in the human world, and he passed away. Then he reborn as a human and get enlightened in that lifetime. That's the first type. Then the second type is a person who became a Sakadagami in the human world, and he passed away and he was reborn as a Deva and got enlightened there. The third type is those who got enlightened in the Deva realm, passed away from there and reborn again as a Deva and get enlightened there. Another type is a person who got enlightened as a Sakadagami in the Deva realm, and he passed away and reborn as a human and get enlightened here. So all this is just only one life that is reborn into the sense realm one more time, no? And the last type is a person who got enlightened in the human world, then he was reborn as a Deva, and again, he has to be, because he has to return, once returned, so he does not return to the Deva and passed away, and he returned to the human world again and get enlightened there. So there are these different types of Sakadagami being explained in the commentaries to the Pugala Panyati book, one of the book of the Abhidhamma texts, of the 7 texts. No? Okay, anyway, whichever types it may be, here what we need to know that sometimes Sakadagami, once returner, does not only have one more life, because he might be reborn as a Deva and he must have to reborn as a human. So that means there is actually how many lives here? 2 lives. No, he has 2 more lives to go, although he is called once returner. So even a Sotapanna, the Ekabiji, the 1 seed that surely get enlightened in the next life, might get enlightened quicker than this person, no, in this case. So, okay, so now that's about one's returner. Let's go to the third stage of enlightenment, anagami, no? But until here, is everything okay? Yeah, okay. Okay, let's go to
Welcome,
anagami.
Don Diego. There is one question from Marifer.
Okay, yes, please.
Yes, come in.
Thank you. I was just wondering, like, what about karma? If you become a sotapanna, and then you have like maybe the next 7 lives to get fully enlightened, karma is still going on, right? On the
Yes.
lives. But why, if he or she did something very bad in past lives, why all the lower realms get canceled?
Yes, this is actually a very good question, because although he is not capable of doing bad things in this lifetime, but in previous life he might have done a lot of bad things, no? So those karma can give result, yes. But remember, when we were talking about these stages of enlightenment, we mentioned about chula sotapanna, no? So when a person, he arrives to a certain understanding, his wisdom, to a certain understanding about anicca, dukkha, and anatta, his wisdom is so powerful. And that his quality, his mind quality, does not allow, this doesn't give conditions for those bad seeds to arise anymore in the immediate next life, no? Because of those wisdom. That wisdom is so powerful that his mind quality is so good that the conditions for those previous bad actions that can bring him to the lower realm does not have enough conditions for him for it to arise. So therefore, those seeds also doesn't give result. And in the meantime, he is also not capable of doing any more bad things that can bring him down. So therefore, he cannot go to the lower realm anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in the sea of suffering is like the wisdom he or she already arrived to is like a lifesaver that will keep him or her on the surface. He will not be able to be drowned again into deeper suffering. So it is balancing. He might have done something very bad in the past, but also he did something amazing and very good in the present, which was to reach Nibbana already, to touch. So that balances up, and it is more powerful. Even the jhanas can help us, make us reborn in a heavenly realm. Even the jhanas, without getting nibbana, imagine nibbana that is more powerful than the jhanas. It has such power that keeps us afloat in the sea of suffering. He cannot go back. But even totally enlightened beings, they might receive the bad seeds of previous bad actions. You remember Angulimala, the serial killer? He got enlightened fully like an arahant under the guidance of the Buddha. After killing 99 persons, he got enlightened, and then he was totally free from suffering and wise, and understood anicca, dukkha, and anatta, etc., having this very good, powerful karma. But still, he needed to receive the punishment from the people, because there was still some seeds, but he just took it equanimously. And I think Mahamoggallana also, he one of the most prominent students or disciples of the Buddha, he also had a quite not very pleasant death. It was because of previous seeds. So some of it, karma is very weird, but if they were not enlightened, those seeds would have sprung in a more violent way or worse. But that goodness is balancing somehow.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Okay, so anybody wants to ask something or
Somebody else? Questions? Everybody okay? Okay, everyone.
Okay, let's go to anagami. No? So anagami, the third stage of enlightenment, a person who has reached this stage is called an anagami. An here means the negation, no. Agami is the one who comes back, so not coming back. No. So in this case, a person that is that has reached this stage of enlightenment, the non-returning, is called a non-returner. So now not returning or not coming back to what? So here definitely it means not coming back to the sense sphere. So surely he is not going to the lower realm, that's for sure. And he's not even going back to the human or deva realm, because an anagami, after passing away, he will only be reborn into the fine material planes or non-material planes. Why is that so?
Yeah.
Because for an anagami, sense desire and ill will are totally eradicated here. So he
Finish.
has no more sense desire. And if a person has no more sense desire, it is not possible for him to be reborn into the sense sphere anymore. So therefore, it is quite easy to understand. And then remember, sense desire, ill will, slot and topper, doubt, and all these things are the hindrances for jhana practice. Now remember, and for enlightenment, of course. No, but the 5 hindrances for jhana. No, so in this case, an anagami has already eradicated all these hindrances. No, so for him to get jhana is so easy, because his mind is so calm already. There is no more sense desire, no more ill will. All the hindrances are not present. So he just needs to concentrate his mind. He will be able to get jhana. So in this case, most of the anagami, they would get jhana, and then so they will be reborn into the fine material or even the non-material planes. No? Now, yes, Bante?
No, you already covered. Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, according to the Samyojana, let's take a look again. We have these different types of fetters that we have talked about. Now, here, according to the Sutta method that we are explaining, these first 5, mana, rupa, vachara, bhava, raga, the desire for rupa vachara life, the desire for arupa vachara life, and udacha, restlessness, and avijja, these 5 are called the 5 higher fetters. And kamaraga, ditthi, silabhata, paramasa, vichikicha, and patiga, these 5 are called the lower fetters. So these sense desire, wrong view, both wrong view, then doubt and ill will are actually, all of them are already being totally eradicated in this stage. So as an anagami, actually as a sotapanna, ditthi, silabhata, paramasa, and vichikicha are already eradicated, no? And now in the anagami stage, kamaraga and patiga is also totally eradicated. So the 5 lower fetters here are all gone. So what is left for an anagami to eradicate in the stage of arahatahood is only the 5 higher fetters, which are mana, conceit, comparison, udacha, restlessness, because it accompanies all kinds of defilements, no? All kinds of, the agusala state, no? So if there is still avijja or any other thing, udacha will still be there. So the desire for rupa vachara life or arupa vachara life. So these are the only 5 higher factors that are being left. Okay, so there are also
we can think, sorry, Charana, can you go back to the previous one? We can think of these defilements are more elusive, more harder to get. They are more subtle, smaller. For example, the comparison we might have still, that mind will be very pure, but still will compare himself to somebody else. A little bit of restlessness. Let's think of these defilements already very weak, very small, but more elusive, that gross desire for sense, gross anger or patiga, wrong thinking about others, etc., but still some impurities of the mind. And we will see how now in the next stage, all of these small, subtle defilements, we can think of them, will get totally uprooted. The mind is totally pure, unblemished. How you say in Spanish? Inmaculada, una mente inmaculada, sin mácula.
Okay. Yes.
Chavana.
Oh, thank you. So according to the commentaries, there are also 5 types of anagami, 5 types of non-returner. So let's take a look. A person who gets to this stage of enlightenment, who became an anagami in the human world, so he will be reborn into the pure abode, no? You know, the anagamis, there is, when we study about 31 planes of existence, there are some rupa vachara realm. There are these abodes, these realms that are called the pure abodes, that only anagamis are reborn there. No, most of the time, well, not all the time. Some anagamis are reborn into different Brahma realms, but most of them will be reborn into the pure abode. So here, a person who got enlightened in the human world and he is reborn into one of the pure abode or the higher realms, and this person, he gets totally enlightened or he becomes an arahat before he reaches the half of his lifespan there. And then he passed into parinibbana. So this is the first type of anagami. So here that means this is called antara parinibbai. So antara means in between, so in the middle. Parinibbai means the reaching the final nibbana, no? Parinibbana, reaching the final nibbana. So this person being reborn into the higher realm reaches to the final attainment, parinibbana, before reaching the half of his lifespan there. So this is one type. Then another type of person, he get enlightened as a fully enlightened as an arahant after reaching his, after passing the half of his lifespan. So in the second half of the lifespan, or even reaching almost finishing the end of his lifespan. So this type of anagami is called upahacha parinibbai. So another type of anagami. Then there is also another type of anagami who does not need, he does not need to make much effort to become an arahant. Basically, he just become an anagami and then he was reborn as in the higher realm, and very naturally he just practiced very without much effort and he becomes an arahant. Quite easy. So this is one type of anagami. And then there is another type of anagami which he does have to put a lot of effort. Even he was reborn into the higher realm, then he has to put a lot of effort into practicing until he becomes an arahant. So this type of anagami who does not need to put much effort is called asankara parinibbai. And asankarika, no, asankara, so he doesn't have to do too much, asankara parinibbai. And those who need to practice and put much effort is called sasankara parinibbai. So these another two types of anagami. And there is one more type of anagami. This anagami is a little bit special. Then he became an anagami in the human realm, in the human world. Then he passed away and he was reborn into the first pure abode. Then he has to live the lifespan there. Then he passed away from that abode and he goes to the second pure abode. Then he passed away from there and then he goes to the third abode and then pass away and he goes to the fourth abode. Then he passed away and he goes to the highest pure abode, which is called the akinita realm, and only there he becomes an arahat. So for this type of anagami, he lives actually how many more lives? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more lives, no? So he passed through one very long time because those lives in the Brahma realm is very long, no? So step by step, he goes from one realm to the second realm, to the third realm, to the fourth realm, and to the fifth realm, and finally in that realm he gets fully enlightened. So this type of anagami is called Udam Sota Akanita Gami. So one who passes upstream, Udam Sota. Sota is the stream, Udam going up. One who passes the upstream to the highest pure abode. The highest is the Akanita realm. No? So until there he gets enlightened.
It is a long life, but not so much suffering, because remember, he has no physical body, so there is no physical pain, there is no sickness of the body, etc., etc. And his mind is already very pure, so I think he can spend a good time with filled with equanimity, and the Brahma viharas over there can be nice.
It's Rupa Vachara, so he has a body, but not suffering like humans, no? Yes, so those kind of anagami. Okay. Now let's go to the highest stage of enlightenment, which is the fourth stage of enlightenment, the arahata, no, the arahant. So the word comes from Ari and Han, no, arahat. So Ari means enemy, or it means mental defilements. No, actually, those enemies, what are the enemies? The only mental defilements are the enemies, no? Then Han means to kill or to destroy. So in this case, one who has destroyed, eliminated, or eradicated all mental defilements are called an arahat, or arahant, no, an arahant. So an arahant, now, all those higher fetters that we have just seen right now, the attachment to fine or non-material existence, mana or conceit, udacha, restlessness, and avijja, delusion or ignorance, are being totally eradicated. So the last 5 higher fetters also destroyed, and he has reached the highest stage of enlightenment.
Finished. The job is done. What needed to be done is done. The holy life has been lived. That's it. The cycle of samsara is closed. No more rebirth, no more old age, no more sickness, no more loss, no more death.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So in this case, for an arahat, there is no more rebirth. There is no more new life for him. He has finished all his job, as Bante said. So an arahat is also called a kinasawa. Sometimes you will find this word. If you see kinasawa, then we understand that it means an arahat. So kina means exhausted. No, asawa is taints. Remember, we saw in chapter 7 there are different kinds of asawas, the taints, different kinds of defilements and taints that pollute the mind. So those pollution or those taints are being exhausted. So that is called one who has no taints, no asawas at all. So an arahat is also called a kinasawa. So that's another name for an arahat. Okay, so until here, we have concluded the part of the noble beings about the individuals. And what comes next in the chapter 9 is actually a revision or just another pass through of the Phala Samapatti, which we have seen a little bit earlier. And so we are not going to repeat it again. If you are interested to review, then you can take a look at the video number 36, where we talked about enlightenment and the reviewing process. And after this reviewing process, what comes again after this in chapter 9 is the Nirodha Samapatti. So this Nirodha Samapatti, we have also talked about it in chapter 4, which is the mental process of cessation. So here we are also not repeating. And if you want, you can go back to the video number 39. So here we officially finished all the contents of the whole Abhidhamma Sangaha, 9 chapters.
Everything is covered, my dears. 2 years of common effort. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We arrived to the top. We saw the beginning, the content of mind, what is matter, how they interact, and what is necessary to be purified. Thank you, sadhu, 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 for the collective. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May the fruits be plentiful. We share with all beings, remembering especially our mother. May she be well, happy, peaceful, and full of understanding, mental peace. We remember our father. May he be well, happy, healthy, safe, peaceful, and full of understanding for many years more. And if they are not present, wherever they may be, may they continue with the best conditions. We remember all our teachers, our friends, sons and daughters, people we know, people we have had difficulties in the past. May they rejoice with the fruits of our wholesome efforts. Thank you very much, Sharana.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everybody. We have arrived. Sadhu, 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 sadhu. Sabitijo biwajantu sokorogo vinyasatu. Matevawat wantarayo sukirikayuko bawang. Abhiwadana silisa nichambuta pachajino. Chataro Dhamma Vadanti Ayu Vano Sukham Balam Bhavatu Sabha Mangalam Rakantu Sabha Devatam Sabha Buddhanu Bhavena Sadasoti Bhavantu Te Bhavatu Sabha Mangalam Rakantu Sabha Devatam Sabha Dhamanu Bhavena Sadasoti Bhavantu Te Bhavatu Sabha Mangalam Rakantu Sabha Devata Sabha Sanganu Bhavena Sadasoti Bhavantu Te.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu.
sadhu.
May the fruits be plentiful and we have the ability to apply all what we learn in our daily lives and soon arrive to full liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Idam no punyam nibbana pachayo hotu.
Pachayo hotu.
Idam
Idam no
no
punyam
punyam
nibbana sa pachayo hotu. Idam no punyam nibbana sa pachayo hotu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May the fruits of our merits be conditioned that reach us and bring us close and soon, easily to Nibbana.
Ante, can we share merits, please?
Yes. We remember all beings, all our family, and especially those beings who suffer more than us. And I will call and then you can respond in Pali. Idano punyam.
Idam no punyam.
Sabasatanam.
Navasatanam.
Pajimam. Idano punyam. Sabasatanam. Pajimam.
Majima.
Idano punyam.
Punyam.
Sabasatanam.
Navasatanam.
Pajimam.
Majima.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Through the goodness that arises from our practice, may our spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, our mother, our father, and our relatives, the sun and the moon and all virtuous leaders of the world, may those who are friendly, indifferent, or hostile, may all beings receive the blessings of our lives. May they soon attain the threefold bliss and realize the deathless. Through the goodness that arises from our practice, and through this act of sharing, may all desires and attachments quickly cease, and all harmful states of mind, until we realize Nibbana in every kind of birth. May we have an upright mind, with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of delusion not take hold, nor weaken our resolve. The Buddha is my excellent refuge, unsurpassed is the protection of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is my noble guide. The Dhamma is my supreme support. Through the supreme power of all these, may darkness and delusion be dispelled. Amya, 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 amya. Yuro mucha baguro. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Alo chachadamya, amya, amya, amya. Yuro mucha baguro. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Alo chachadamya, amya, amya, amya. Yuro mucha baguro. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We remember all our teachers and all the Burmese family community. May peace come soon to their hearts. May peace come soon everywhere in the planet. May the fruits of the Dhamma continue for many generations, blessing our life in the same way that they have been doing. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Bante. Thank you very much, everybody, for your effort. We have arrived. Congratulations.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Mm. Thank you, Charana, for all the effort. Thank you so much for the preparation and everything. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May you and your family be filled with blessings for a long, long time.
Thank you. And you too, Bante, and everybody.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, for accompanying us on this long journey. And it is just, well, an end is just the beginning of another thing. So this is the beginning of further studies. And so we still have practice and study. And so there is so much more to be explored. And the Dhamma is very deep. And but now I'm so glad that we all have a good foundation for further understanding. With this information, with this understanding, then I'm very quite confident that whatever things you read or you come through or come across, or whatever discourses you listen from any monks or any venerables, then you will be able to understand in a deeper level, and also you will be you will be able to differentiate whether this is according to the Buddha's teaching or not. No, but there, of course, there are so much more to learn. So we all continue working together on this path, and for the coming time, maybe in the next class, I would next Monday, I was talking with Bante, and we are thinking that it could be a good idea that we will do some selections of some good readings or good videos that you can continue if you are interested on exploring the Dhamma. That's something that will be good to continue further exploration. No, so I will prepare something, and I will also talk with Bante to see what suggestions he have. And then most probably at the moment, I'm thinking about some courses, video courses of Sayadaw Nandamala Biwamsa. Because for now, with your understanding, you'll be able to understand what he is talking about, no, and when he explained the things. So that will be very good. And also there are some books. For example, if you want to know more about karma, there is a book, the Paok Sayadaw he wrote. There's so much more details and very interesting. And with this Abhidhamma knowledge that you already have, you will be able to follow just easily. So that will be a good book to read as well. So there are many things that we can continue enjoying the Dhamma. Like our teacher Sayadaw Okam, Macau Sayadaw, he always said the enjoyment of the Dhamma is the sweetest, the highest enjoyment, no? The best enjoyment of all, the enjoyment of Dhamma. So there are still many things that we can continue. And also, although we are coming to an end for this Abhidhamma Sangha course, you're always welcome to send us messages if you have any questions or any, when you read something that you want to explore a little bit or discuss something. So you're always welcome to contact. And if sometimes if we gather many questions or something, then we can gather everybody and we can discuss together. We can have a Zoom meeting, or so this depends on us.
And please, dear family, feel confident. Now, even difficult books, I'm very confident that you will be able to understand and tackle them. Don't hesitate. Now we all have a very good foundation to understand and to simplify the teaching. We have spent a lot of energy on cultivating wisdom, Panya. So now there are two other things, no? Sila and Samadhi. So now to make a nice balance, if Panya, we already dedicated 2 years, we have the good information and background. Now start applying on the practice. Try to meditate more, establish the habits of sitting once or twice or 3 times, even small periods during the day. Sometimes it's more beneficial. 3 times, morning, middle day, and before going to bed, or in the evening, even for short time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20. But the mind, we are keeping the mind on a nice channel, and also find ways to improve our sila. So get better. You can practice the 5 precepts, which are basic, then sometimes experiment with the 8 precepts, what happens to the mind with it. And in general, for the teaching, now it's time to go to the suttas. Now we have all the Sutta Pitaka open, the Digha Nikaya, the Majjhima Nikaya, the Kudaka Nikaya, all the Samyutta, all of the books are now ready. With the X-ray that we develop with the Abhidhamma, the understanding will be much, much greater. I just discovered a very nice Sayadaw who explores all the Sutta Pitaka, giving explanations in recordings. It is many hours of a course. I'm thinking to put it up in a Google Drive. So everybody, I really recommend. His style is very clear. His English is perfect, and he is very, very close to the teaching, and very, very good communicator. So I will encourage. Now let's tackle the sutta. I'm very confident with the things we have. Thank you so much. I'm very, very happy. Dhamma Wuddo from Malaysia. I just came to meet him, and he passed away already. A very revered Mahatera from Malaysia. And I was listening some of his explanations, wonderful explanations. And he make explanation from all the suttas in the Sutta Pitaka. So now with what we have, oh my dears, we will not finish, but hopefully we can apply in our daily life, and the exploration continues. We are continue walking. The inspiration is high, the spirits are high, and the tools are ready. The teaching is alive. So let's just apply it. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I'm very, very happy this moment. I can't believe we are here. Oh, sadhu, sadhu. Good, satisfying. Thank you, my dears. I love you. Thank you so much, dear Dhamma family.
Thank you so much. Anybody wants
it is rare to encounter in the universe, so it's a precious opportunity. Yes, Charana. If anybody wishes, yes, Charana, go ahead.
No, I was saying that if anybody wants to say something, we are welcome.
Yes, welcome, my dears.
Yes, Cass, please.
Yes, Casita.
Yeah, I always have a lot of things to say.
Welcome.
This moment is sad, but happy at the same time. I really enjoy this. And when you say that we can have like the opportunity to continue with different readings, books, or different courses, for me, that'll be amazing because I want more and more and more. And also, it's true, it's a good opportunity to practice more and to keep or Sheila try to do it better. And I think it's super great opportunity for all of us. But definitely I want more and I want to continue. And if possible to do this like every other week or month, whatever, but I'll be here.
Sadhu, sadhu. We are also for more. We are also up to it.
It has been a life-changing experience for me. For me, this is definitely like the highest. Like really, if I feel bad or something, I feel down, I just read, or I go back to like the practice, but like I like to read. Like I have my favorite books.
Yes.
And I just read a little bit and it's like, oh, it's true. It's true. It's not that bad. Not that bad. But I need that. I need to continue like to going back to that, because sometimes we can kind of get like in default network and with other things now to get, our minds can get distracted. But I just have to read a little bit or remember a little bit, and that's like, oh, it's true. It's not that bad.
Sadhu. Perspective immediately kicks in. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you. Thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you. Yes, Andreita.
I just wanted to thank you both for this beautiful journey and all the hours of preparation, not only of the material, but everything that you have studied, and for sharing. It's priceless. And not only for us, but I think also for the people that surrounds us.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So thank you so much. Maha sadhu sadhu for both.
Maha sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you. Thank you. In the heart.
Yeah, I also want to take the opportunity to to say thank you to both. It's really, I think there are no words to describe the noble effort that of sharing this information all the time, all the energy. It has been years of sharing. So I'm really, really grateful. It has been like information that it changed my life. The practice, it's much better after this course. So it's really, I can describe how grateful I am for this information. So thank you very much. Really, thank you. I know it involves a lot of time and energy from you. So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Alex.
Please.
I know we said it before, but it's never enough words just to thank you both for your kindness, your effort. You've been so generous with your time and your knowledge, and definitely it changed my life for good. Since I remember Cass and I were wandering in searching for the Buddha's teaching that just click deep in our understanding, and we really appreciate. And I really remember when we just landed in Guayabos and started visiting on your place on Sundays, and it meant a lot. It really made a lot of sense, and the teachings were so clear, so practical, so I don't know, full of heart and meaning, that for me, I just realized I was already home. And well, I wanted to thank you both for all your effort through this journey, and tell you that it's making a lot of good, as Andrea mentioned, in our lives and the people surrounding us. So thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yes, Marifer.
Sí, Marifer.
Well, just as all my classmates, thank you, as we have said it all the way, because for me as well, it's been life-changing, mind-changing, heart-changing, like in so many ways. The mind was open totally and broken and reformed. So it was an amazing trip. So thank you for keeping this knowledge alive and passing us with this didactic, is that a word? Form to us, all this may be complicated or far from our culture information. So thank you, and thank you to all my classmates. It's been an honor to walk this path with you guys. And as Cassandra was saying, I feel the same. It's like I'm letting your hand go, and I'm like, no, don't. But we have the information, and we're still together in this. So she said, I'm here for whatever you guys want to teach us. So thank you to everyone, and sadhu for all your families and your beloved people.
Yes, yes, sadhu. Thank you, Marife, for always offering to help. We really appreciate. Thank you, and Caro also.
Thank you. Okay, my dears.
So thank you so much, everybody. I'm really glad because I feel the same when we finish the course with Seado. It is definitely life-changing. I can understand it very well because it has been life-changing for me, and I imagine for Vante as well. I always say that I cannot imagine what would happen to me, or how would I be without meeting Seado and without having this information. It would be totally a different life, which I cannot imagine. And I'm so grateful to all the teachers, well, at the end to the Buddha, of course, the homage to the Buddha, and to all the teachers that has passed on this information. And I really am very happy that we are able to complete this course together. And I'm very, very sure that Seado, Macau Seado, he will be so proud of you. He'll be so, so happy. And so I will inform him. And now communication is not very easy. But whenever I'm able to be in contact with him, I will let him know, and I'm sure he will be so happy that you all.
Many of our teachers will be very, very happy about this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and really, I do this in honor of my teacher for all that he has shown us, has given us, and I'm very glad for this opportunity that you have given me and Bante for us to share this to you. So thank you, everybody. It has been really a great learning for us as well. Thank you so much. Okay, so next Monday, Monday for me and for Bante. So next Sunday evening, if you have time, then we will meet again in the same hour, and we will prepare some information on what could be nice to keep reading or studying or watching videos. Introduction to other materials.
Bring your shirts, like when you finish the primary and then you go the last day, which is from everything and everybody sign, please never change, and something like this. And you will say, as a Buddhist, oh, I cannot do that now. Anicca is real. Never change your good quality. It will change. But anyway, we sign our shirts and then we enjoy, go out. We are totally free from exams and homeworks. Let's do that next week. There is the path still on. We are here, and as you can see, look, we are in 3 different countries right now, and in different places on the 4 countries right now, and here we are. So it is easy. We continue ahead. I'm opening a new chapter in my whole life and practice. So I'm inspired, and I see many possibilities. So I think we can fly high. I do think we can fly very, very high. We must trust and wholeheartedly start applying what we learn. If we keep the medicine on the shelf, nobody will get cured ever. We must drink the medicine. We know what is necessary to be done. It's not difficult, my dears. We are together in this, and I'm very glad that we have met in this universe, in this time, life, and era. It is something that we cannot take for granted. It is very rare to become a human, to have a universe, to have a planet that can sustain biological life, to have born and to come together as friends and to have interest in the Dhamma and trying to apply. Dulabo, the Buddha says, Apamadena bhikkhave sampadeta. Do not continue focus on what we must do. And here we are. We continue, my dears. We continue. I am on it, and my life is dedicated to the Dhamma. So the boat is big. Let's jump on it, and we cross the sea of suffering, hopefully soon. Thank you, everybody. I really love you. I thank you deeply. Thank you, Charana, for everything, the team and all the effort, common effort joined. May the fruits be plentiful. They are and they will be. Thank you so much, everyone. Sadhu, 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 sadhu. The door is open. The door is open.
Okay, thank you, everybody. So, Bante, we can't hear you. Yeah, so we'll see you next Sunday, and we continue.
Yes.
Good night, everybody. Sleep well.
Good night, everybody. Sleep well. Best wishes to all the family and love. Thank you so much. Sadhu, sadhu.